I had to make this video because, look, if we realize economic development in our communities, meaning if you spend your own money in your own community, what does this do? This brings jobs to your community. This brings resources to your community. This brings jobs to the children who are out there gang banging, selling drugs, and committing robberies to feed their family because they don't have jobs. Then we got to crawl and beg other communities to give us jobs. So if we out there protesting, begging for them to give us jobs, now what sense does that make? We are sitting around waiting on the mayor or the governor to invest in our communities, and it ain't never happened. And it ain't never gonna happen. We shouldn't even want that to happen. We should be able to do for ourselves and want to do for ourselves, because until we raise up for ourselves, nobody's gonna do it for us, and nobody's even gonna respect us for begging. We out here protesting your oppressor to do better for you. Now, does that make any sense? We out here begging for them to love us. We out here begging for them to stop killing us. We out here begging for them to give us jobs. We out here begging for them to put stores in our communities. And when we spend $1.3 trillion a year in their communities. So when you shop outside your communities, you're giving that community jobs. The reason why they have such nice schools, nice houses, nice stores is because you take your dollar and you spend it in their community. The reason why your community looks so bad is because you don't spend your money there. Well, people are going to say, oh, well, blacks don't own anything, don't have any black-owned stores. Well, even if it's not a black-owned store, even if it's a store that hires people within your community, that means that money is being recycled back into the community. Now, if that store hires people in your community and then the people from your community turn around and spend it back in that community, that means that the dollar stays within your community a lot longer. Right now in the black community, it only stays 7 hours. That means when you get paid, literally within 7 hours, every dime is out of your hands into their community. Literally 7 hours. That's pathetic. Everybody else is like 12 days, 18 days, 25 days, stuff like that. We are the only ones that have not figured it out. We are the only ones that get out there and protest and beg. And we're still waiting. And we wait. And we wait. And we're still begging for them to invest in our communities. To put jobs in our communities. When in fact, we create our own jobs. We create our own jobs. What's wrong with us? Why we gotta sit and beg all the damn time? Why don't we just get up and do it our goddamn self? We don't need their schools. Look, why are we waiting on somebody to invest in our schools when we could teach our own children? We could create our own schools. We don't need a lot of money. All we need is a teacher and a student. That's it. That's all we need. And we could teach our own children. We could create our own schools. We don't have to beg for them to give us schools. We don't. We really don't. So if we want to get somewhere and get some respect, we have to earn it. We have to demand it. We have to demand respect. You don't just beg for it. That ain't how it happens. We became a race of beggars, which makes absolutely no sense. Let's stop begging and demand it. Get out there and invest in our own, create our own. We need to teach our children the importance of entrepreneurship. Early age, at the age of 4, 5, 6, your children should know everything about being an entrepreneur there is, literally, because you have drilled it in their head since they was 3, 4, 5 years old. Entrepreneurship and college. Knowledge is power. And money is power. If we have no money, we have no power. So while we out there begging, We have no money, power, and then you leave begging, and you go to spend your money in where? Their community, to empower them. So I get a lot of people talking about, oh, I'm not about to give up. They got better things. So you mean to tell me you're willing to go into another community to empower them, to finance them, and take the money out of your community just because their stuff may be a little bit nicer or the service you get may be a little bit better? Then you try to say, oh, we need to stop the violence. Well, how are we going to stop the violence when it's impoverished? Rich black neighborhoods have no crime. Poor black neighborhoods have a lot of crime. Put the math together, people. All we have to do is invest in our own. So you say, whoa, what can I do? I want the violence to stop. Oh, okay, help stop it. Invest in those communities. All you got to do is buy something from that community. Simple as that. If you've done your job, which is a lot, we can all help out in this fight. But in Chicago, we have over 500 murders, and it's time to stand up and do something about it. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to get up there and invest in your community? Or are you just going to watch these kids die? Then people are saying, and then our people, we so backwards. You'll drive 45 minutes out your way to shop in their area to save. You'll spend $30 in gas to save $10 on product. That doesn't make any damn sense. You take a 45-minute drive there and back to shop in their community, to go to the store in their community, to go to the movies, go out to eat in their community. And they turn around and invest that. That's the cops' kids who's killing your kids. Ever think about that? And what are you doing? You're financing them to live better, to have better things, to invest in their communities, to invest in entrepreneurship for their communities. That's what we're doing. That's what happens when you pass up a decent restaurant in your neighborhood to go to a fancy restaurant in their neighborhood. I refer to it as just like slaves. Now, the master in the big house invited the Uncle Toms to come eat in the big house. Now, the field Negroes are down in the field cooking and not eating as good as master in the big house. So now you so addicted to master biscuits in the big house, you can't stop from going into the big house. But if you invest and help the field Negroes eat, you can afford master biscuits in the big house. I tell people, look, shop in your own neighborhood. We so slow. People ask me, why? And if you have to ask why, then yes, you're part of the problem.